Welcome, everybody. It's your girl Sarah, and you already know. Welcome to another episode of Against the Green About the Salt podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about some things that I'm going to do when I have children and a family of my own that I noticed that my mom and dad didn't do with me. And this is for the younger parents, like the millennials. I don't know who's underneath me. Is it Gen Z? Manano, I don't know. But I want to talk about what I noticed, and you can tell me if you resonate with this or not. Cool. So, one thing I know I'm going to allow is my child to talk back to me. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to allow them to have dialogue. Their tone is going to have to be in a certain way, but I'm going to allow them to have dialogue. I'm going to allow them to say something, whatever they feel like they need to say. I'm going to let them get it off their chest. I'm gonna let them because I realized as an adult now that children are human beings. And I used to work with kids at the YMCA, and I really learned hands-on, like, kids have feelings. Children have feelings. And a lot of times, because they don't know how to navigate their childhood, obviously they've never been a kid before, they are they express themselves in very different ways, and every child is different. So I'm gonna allow my child to talk back to me, not disrespectfully, because let me tell you something, I won't spare the rod for no one. You heard me? Manat. Anyway, ooh, excuse me. So I'm gonna allow them to talk and give me dialogue. I'm also gonna allow them to question me. I'm saying that, and I'm really holding my hands like I still want to choke them. But I'm gonna do my best to allow them to question me because I heard someone say this, like, they're trying to reason and they're trying to put the things that's in their head and they're trying to concoct something. And I feel like if I tell them, hey, I don't want you to go out on Saturday night, if they come back to me like, Ma, I really want to go out on Saturday night, and I already told them I don't want them to go, I'd be like, okay, give me a reason why you should go out on Saturday night. Write a list, plead your case. You get what I'm saying? And hey, my mind might change. My mind might not change. But it's the fact that I'm allowing them to process and give me what do they think is the best way to persuade me, right? Instead of shutting them up like it's my house, you do what I say, which is true to a certain extent. But I want to teach them that instead of shutting you down because it's my house, it's my way, though my mind might not change, I'm going to start giving you the tools to learn how to ask for what you want, not just because you want it, but because you have the right things. You figured out how to word your concerns and express them to people who won't give you what you want, right? And it's like your day in court. Like I said, I might rule in your favor, I might not. But I'm going to allow you to question me, and I'm going to allow you to plead your case. Some things you just can't plead. As a parent, I'm just really gonna be like, you tripping. And that's only because I have more knowledge than you in this very moment, and one day you will be in my shoe. But I'm not gonna make you feel like dumb. I don't want my child to be feel like they stupid because they asked me that. Because how could you have known? You don't know. This is why you're asking me, right? So I think that's leading into my next thing is like, I'm not gonna let my kids feel stupid about talking to me. I don't want them to be scared to talk to me. I realized obviously all of us are adults. There's certain things we did that we got away with our parents. If you were sneaky like me, I'm the oldest. I was like, look, if they said no, I'm finna go through the back door. You know what I mean? And sometimes, no matter how transparent you are with your child, they're just things that they just won't tell you, which is fine with me because I don't need to be everywhere always. And I know that when God gives me my kids, they belong to Him. He gave them to me to steward them and raise them the way that He wants me to raise them, but they're ultimately not mine because I'm not everywhere. I'm not omnipresent. I'm not omniscient. I can't be everywhere. But I can rest in the fact that I know God gave me these kids. I raised them a certain way, and God's going to have His way anyway. So where the places I'm not, He's there. And that's why, as a parent, I feel like if we say, as Christian followers of Christ, if we say we trust God, do we really trust God? Because my parents said they trust God and they still was wailing on me, like trying to control everything. And I don't want to control everything. And I'm not a parent yet. So I understand that certain things I will not really understand until I get into those shoes. But these are one of the things that I'm saying, like, I'm trusting God now and He's making me trust Him. I'm telling you now because I just can't wrap my head around being stressed out. I don't want to be stressed in anything. So it's like, look, if my child's being rebellious, I'm going to lift them up in prayer because I know prayer works. So there's things my kids are going to do that I'm just not going to know about. Cool. You ain't got to tell me everything. But I want to make sure that the things that I can control, which is the environment, right? I can control the environment. I want to create a safe space so you're able to tell me stuff and I'm able to listen. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be hearing my friends, they be talking about my nieces and nephews and how they be ready to choke them. But it's like I really admire how my friends are parenting their children not the same way their parents parented them. Because a lot of us who are millennials, we got what? Gen X parents, baby boomers, they was whooping our tail. Okay. And if they wasn't whooping our tail, they was making sure that we didn't have a voice in the house. Because it's my house. I pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things too is like whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Toxic. I do believe there's a privacy that should be held, but that covered so many sins. That covered so many things, wrong things that happened in the house, and that is still till this day. So it's just like I admire, and in real time I'm seeing them because we're all alike, and it's like, and I'm listening. I'm like, I'm the auntie, and I want to choke that little boy that's trying to talk to my niece. You know what I'm saying? Like, or my niece or nephew, they're yelling or they're doing certain things, and I'm just like, ugh, I'm really gonna have to deal with this when I have a kid. Like, OMG. So I understand that there's things that you say you want to do, and then there's reality when it comes through. But one thing that I was talking to my brother and my sister in law about is like, I asked them, I said, what age, if any age before 18, are you going to allow your kids to date? And they said they were going to go with the flow because they just don't know. And I, in my head, was like, go with the flow. And then it really, and that's why I like listening to other people's perspectives because sometimes you think you know what you're going to do, but it's good to listen to other people to see how they're going to approach certain things. Because maybe you could adapt or adopt what they're saying. Sometimes maybe not. And they said they were going to go with the flow. And I thought that was cool because in my head, I heard someone say online, the father, he was like, if you want to date my daughter, you need to have a job, you need to have a car, and you need to know God. So I thought that was really like structural. And if I do let you date before 18, it's like, yeah, maybe 17 because the only way you're going to drive is if you're 17. And usually boys' insurance is higher because boys be messing up cars. So I don't really know if I'm going to have my kid in a car with a man, my daughter in a car with a man. But if I were to, that would probably be the structure I have. Do you know Christ? Do you follow Christ? Are you active in the church? Do you have a job? Because my daughter not paying for nothing. And two, because you have no business dating if you don't got no money. That's just what I'm saying. And then three, do you have a car? Because we're not walking nowhere. She ain't walking nowhere. You heard me? And I ain't chaperoning nothing. It's like, nah, I'll drive around. We'll see what's up. But I thought that was so structural. But when I heard my brother and my sister-in-law say we're gonna go with the flow, it allowed me also to put that into what I think I'm gonna do with my kids. Because we are meeting our kids for the first time and they're meeting us for the first time. All of our children are not the same. You can have 5 kids and none of them are the same. Meaning none of them are going to require the same thing twice. Maybe, maybe not. But you're constantly going to have to be on your toes and learn how to pivot, right? So what worked for me might not work for my brother, might not work for my sister. And honestly, being in the right headspace as a mother and a husband and a father to understand that and not be frustrated with the kids. Now I'm mad at you because you acting out and I want you to act like her because she was, easier to handle than you are. And I think that's what happened in my house. And then also just in general with a lot of people is like, they thought we all were supposed to be acting the same. Why don't you act like your sister? Because I'm not. I'm not. And if you're not cut out for this job, I don't know. Don't leave me now because I don't want to be homeless or nothing. But like get it together or lose it forever. So I just think that going with the flow, having some structure, obviously going into it, you and your husband are going to be like, all right, we're going to plan to do this, but understanding that those plans are in pencil so we can erase and then start again because every kid will be different. And I just want to give my kids a safe space. I'm not going to spare them the rod. But if my child is a child that doesn't need to get whipped and maybe another reparation, yeah, it's going to work, cool. You know what I mean? I'm not out here handing whippings to all my kids because that's just the way to do it. Don't spare the rod. No, some children need their tail licked. And when we say licked, it's a licksin, like a whipping. And then some children, you just need to talk to them or take away something. They'll get it. You know what I'm saying? And I also feel like when I do, punish my kids or reprimand them, I'm going to have dialogue with them. We are going to talk about why I did what I did. And I want them to understand why I did what I did. This is not just so you can, I beat you because you did something wrong, and I'm the mom, I'm the dad, and you do what I say, and then I come in, and then when things settle down, I ask you if you want some food. Because my mom and dad would be like, "You hungry?" After they beat me already, and I'm just like, like I said, there were instances where I really just needed to get my behind whipped, but it was like, talk to me, ask me how I'm feeling after you whip me, because I'm gonna ask my kids how you feeling after I whip that. Excuse my language. I'm gonna ask them because I do care about you, and I know that I personally, I think I'm gonna have a hard time whipping what looks like me. Even though I understand, like I'm big on respect and discipline, but like, who wants to beat their kids? Ugh. But I can't raise no bastard. I can't have you leaving, going out in this world, representing me all willy nilly. But it's like I know a lot of parents, my friends, they be sad when they have to, discipline a child, but they have to. And I'm gonna talk to you about it. How are you feeling? Do you know why I did what I did? You know what I'm saying? And being able to have those conversations will help me understand how I need to move in the future, and everything. And me and my husband, we have to be on the same page. Me and my man are always going to be on the same page because them kids going to try to come in between you and your husband. When my mama said no, my dad said yes. When my dad said yes, my mama said no. And sometimes both of them said no. And I was like, who did this? Who sent you? Why are y'all on the same page? You get what I'm saying? There's certain instances where it's like, mom might my baby might come to me and I'm like, what did your father say? And if he said no and I want to say yes, I'll go talk to him. I'll be like, okay, like, babe, why you say this? Blah, 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 blah. But I will not renege his decision in front of that child. Because once the kid sees that, they're gonna always be like, "Oh, well, I could just go to mom. I could just go to dad." And they not running the show here. I'm running this show. Me and your fathers are running this show. Okay. So these are some of the things that I'm gonna do with my kids. Y'all let me know if that's something you're gonna do with your children, or what kind of structural things that are you gonna do with your child, because I'm really interested to know, because I'm all about learning. And I don't know about gentle parenting. I know I'm gonna be a gentle parent. I think I'll be a fun mom. I also know that I don't play that, because though my parents was a little crazy with the whippings and stuff, look at me now. Look at me now. So it's like, you really just don't know. And that's just really true. Going with the flow. I am very respectful. I don't be walking out here all wilding out and stuff like that. At the same time, this mouth is reckless. That's if you disrespect me, though. I'm not going to disrespect you first. So yeah, y'all let me know, what is your training style going to be for your kids? And I hope your heart is tender to them and allow them to be a person and not muffled and not stifled and scared. Like, they should have the fear, because I have the fear of the Lord, right? So I reverence God. I want them to reverence me. I don't want them to be scared of me. Like, when something happens, if they drinking and they getting drunk, I want them to be able to call me like, "Ma, I can't drive. I'm gonna go get them." You're gonna hear my mouth, and it's not even gonna be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be like, you know better than that. Like, why are you pissy drunk? What you going through that got you lit like this? But I'm gonna pick you up because I don't want you to get in the car with somebody else. I don't want someone else taking advantage of you in your most vulnerable moment. You know what I'm saying? If a man is hitting my daughter, or if my daughter is whipping tail, I want you to be able to tell me. I don't want that underneath my house and I don't know that you're like, it's just never that deep because I love you and I'm always going to love you. I don't care what you're going through. I will go to prayer for you in that closet with my husband. I don't care what you feeling. My mom might like this person. I might like the same sex. All of that stuff, though my mind will be like, what? It's my job to keep it together and bring it to the Father above. It's not for me to lash out on you. And then now I broke a relationship that God gave me. Like, you're mine. And the devil can't have you. And I'm telling the children now, they're not even here yet. The enemy will not have you. You belong to God and you belong to me and your fathers. I don't know who your dad is yet, but one day you're gonna see this and you're gonna be my man. Anyway, let me know what your style of raising the children it is. For those of you that are parents, what is your training style? And for those of you who are looking to be parents in the future, what's your style? It's your girl, Sarah, and you already know I'm going to see you on the flip side of America. You heard me?